and thanks for joining our third Virtual Connections. Everyone on the Guidewire team is looking forward to hopefully seeing you in person in Las Vegas in November. And I'm excited to say that we've decided we'll proceed with our live event. But for those of you who can't travel, we'll make sure you can get access to all the key sessions virtually. In the meantime, we've put together another virtual event full of the latest updates on our Cortina product release, the innovation occurring in our customer base, and a view into our vision for the future of Guidewire and IT in our industry. I hope that you enjoy it and take the opportunity to give us feedback on all of it. Our mission at Guidewire is to be the platform that P&C insurers trust to engage, innovate, and grow efficiently. In the 19 years since our company was founded, that mission has not changed. We believe that the insurance industry serves a critical and fundamental role in our world economy and society. We strive to provide a technology platform that enables insurance companies to operate more efficiently, to innovate and grow more easily, and for the fundamental benefit that insurance provides to dramatically expand. Our company was founded based on the hypothesis that the unique requirements of this industry could be effectively served by a packaged software company. And in the first 19 years of our existence, we proved that premise to be true across more than 400 customers and more than 1,000 successful implementations of Guidewire core systems. Over the last 3 years, we have been working to prove a second hypothesis, that our customer base and this industry could be better served by a new cloud-based approach to P&C core systems. That we could take all of what was great about Guidewire and deliver it as a centrally managed, continually evolving cloud-based service. Today, we're here to talk about Cortina, the third release of our cloud platform that we think clearly proves that second hypothesis, that the benefits of this new approach are now clear and the time to act is now. But before we dive into Cortina, I want to talk about 4 trends we see driving meaningful change in our industry and provide a backdrop to the technology and business updates we'll provide. These 4 connected trends are about how you go faster with shared services, deliver IT as a product, digitize every insurance process, and evolve data and analytics into insights. Over the last decade, we have seen a fundamental shift from technical self-reliance to the broad adoption of shared services. When common requirements can be delivered centrally as a service, systems become immensely more efficient. That simple idea powers a lot of the world's productivity improvements and economic growth. In the software industry, we call this cloud, or SaaS, or PaaS, and we say the software runs in the cloud. But it's important to understand that cloud for us means much more than where the software runs or who runs it. It means a shift from point-in-time software solutions to continually evolving services that continue to improve forever. We believe that core systems will make this shift, and that this shift will extend to data services, risk services, fraud services, telematic services, document services. Many and maybe eventually all of the core technology functions a P&C insurance company needs to operate will be delivered as cloud services. The companies that get ahead of this curve and use this technology shift to their advantage will realize substantial efficiencies, achieve greater business agility, and in the process serve their customers much more effectively. The next trend is what is called the productization of IT. This is a change in the way IT is organized and managed within an insurance company. It's an intentional approach to aligning the IT organization around the business outcomes and business innovation rather than projects and programs. It's a structure that is made possible by a shift away from building and maintaining software platforms and towards the leverage of flexible and often cloud-based services. The result is not just an IT organization more aligned to the business, but an IT-driven product function that is indistinguishable from the business objectives it is linked to. This change is made possible by leveraging lighter weight, more composable cloud services, and facilitates more agility in an organization. This is why we see so many of our customers launching new lines of business on cloud platforms and simultaneously adopting fresh approaches to the implementation methodology and ongoing management of these insurance products. It's our belief that these programs and approaches will quickly become the norm in our industry. Third is the digitization of literally every insurance process across consumer, agent, broker, underwriter, and adjuster. We tend to see convenience and competition as the drivers of this shift, but efficiency will also be a significant byproduct of this change. These digital transformation efforts are slowed by what I believe is one of the most challenging problems for companies in the insurance industry to solve: striving to make a simple digital experience on top of a complex business process. The complexity of insurance is real and is very difficult to hide. Attacking the underlying business complexity becomes the key attribute of any successful digital initiative. Fourth is the evolution of data and analytics from a siloed and specialized discipline to a fluidly connected part of the entire insurance lifecycle. Embedding predictive insight in business processes and continually improving decision-making and operational efficiency. Eventually, everything you do in an insurance company will be informed and improved by data and analytics in real time. The connection of phones, cars, apps, and IoT devices enable us to better measure, monitor, manage, and reduce risk. Usage-based insurance and auto telematics is something we will talk about as part of the Cortina release, but we expect that release after release, there will be more and more of these examples of connected risk, data, and intelligence. Our approach with the Guidewire Cloud Platform is to be flexible and open so that these new edge-based systems can seamlessly and easily be integrated into your core platform and data and analytics systems. This perspective is informed by thousands of conversations we have had with executives from insurance companies of all shapes and sizes. Everyone I've spoken to, and I'm sure everyone listening to me now, thinks about the challenges associated with improving the core business of insurance. To improve customer experience and agent satisfaction, launch new products faster, lower operating costs, including the costs associated with Guidewire. Maybe it all feels just slightly out of reach, and you think that the project you just completed was supposed to make it all happen, but fell just a little bit short. Or maybe you feel that taking advantage of these trends and adopting these new approaches is something that you'll get to right after your current set of projects are complete. To put it bluntly, there is a gap between your expectations and the urgency you feel to transform and your current practical reality and ability to do so. I think that the reason for this is simple. The current model of on-prem software development just does not align well to continuous improvement. The on-prem software model makes upgrades harder than they should be and severely slows the innovation cycle between the software vendor and the customer. That single issue inflicts a very serious and real burden on our entire industry. The solution is also simple, though I admit not easy. Replace the on-prem software model with a continually evolving cloud service. When we introduced the Guidewire Cloud Platform last year, we fundamentally changed our approach to upgrades to make them more and more backwards compatible. Upgrades should not be complicated and expensive, and by designing each release to take into account the existing implementations on our cloud, we have made it possible for every cloud customer to take every release. Today, we serve 45 InsuranceNow customers and 31 InsuranceSuite customers on Guidewire Cloud, and 12 of our InsuranceSuite customers are now in production. We have now done 10 upgrades across 9 InsuranceSuite Cloud customers and have a plan with every single one of our cloud customers to get them to the latest release of the Guidewire Cloud Platform. In the next year, we expect to complete 11 more upgrades and 21 more production events, and that is just in the group of customers who have already chosen to transition to cloud. Based on the results of these customer implementations, and specifically the upgrades we have successfully completed, we are now completely convinced that this new approach to Guidewire as a cloud service is the key to unlocking a new cycle of technology-led innovation in our customer base and in our industry. Something that for me is a bit startling is that every single one of the Guidewire instances, even the ones that are already on V10, are now 3 cloud releases behind Cortina. And every single one of these instances is not able to take advantage of the potential to innovate that we can only deliver through our cloud service. The move to Guidewire Cloud continues to become easier and faster and more efficient with each project we complete. And now with Cloud Direct, any customer on V8 or V9 or V10 can move directly to GWCP and shift their technology platform from playing catch-up to leading, innovating, and continuously improving. The payoff for making this switch is clear. You gain an insurance product-oriented IT strategy that allows you to engage more effectively, innovate faster, and grow more efficiently. So I hope you can tell that I'm excited about the progress we have made and the potential it will unlock for all of you. I do want to, however, reiterate that we remain committed to supporting and updating our on-prem releases of Guidewire. We recognize that conflicting priorities often dictate a sequencing of projects that can delay your ability to start a transition to the cloud now. That being said, it's becoming more and more clear to me that there will be a startling difference between the value Guidewire can provide to a cloud-based customer versus an on-prem customer. And I believe I would be doing you a disservice if I did not clearly articulate that. We all believe that cloud is the future, and I believe that future is now. And so logically, I believe you should start planning for that transition now. But just like we have done for the past 19 years, we will stand by you and support you and work hard every day to continue to earn your trust and serve you effectively, regardless of the form that service requires. That commitment for me and for all of us at Guidewire comes from a motivation to see you succeed. And the success stories are truly remarkable. Like USAA launching a new small business product in less than 9 months. Or Grinnell Mutual releasing a sophisticated auto product and using the first state of its launch as a test and learn program. Or EMC Insurance, even in its pre-production development program, they were able to quickly and seamlessly take an upgrade from Aspen to Banff so that they're continuously building on the latest release of Guidewire. Or Topa Insurance Company, who entered a new and pretty unconventional insurance market for cannabis-related businesses, launching 5 different products in 21 states in 9 months with just 1 developer on InsuranceNow. HighRoad, an innovative insurtech launched by a Tier 1 insurer, provides behavior-based auto insurance and is using ClaimCenter to provide a digital-first claims experience. The Hartford launched Putty, business insurance for short-term handyman projects in 6 months. A product of the Hartford Small Business Innovation Lab, Putty runs on Guidewire Cloud. The Canadian Automobile Association configured Guidewire to launch a new UBI policy targeting consumers working from home. CAA's team had the first version ready in just 8 days, and the end result was 300% year-over-year increase in new auto policy sales, 72% increase in new customers, and buzz that generated more than 120 million views on social media. And you know what's common among all these success stories? Innovating fast on Guidewire Cloud. One of my personal favorite examples of innovation in our customer base is Mobilitas, a wholly owned subsidiary of CSAA Insurance Group. Mobilitas is targeting the sharing economy and the mobility sector with a new approach to insurance, and I am very excited to have the opportunity to welcome Tom Troy, the CEO of CSAA. Tom, thanks so much for being here. I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about Mobilitas, what you're trying to accomplish with the company and what you're going after.
Yeah, Michael, first, thank you for having me, and I'm really excited to spend some time with you. You know, Mobilitas is an offshoot of a strategic work that we had done in late 2019. And, you know, CSAA is a $4 billion personal lines insurance company operating in 23 states. And we took a look at what was happening in mobility at the present time, and we tried to think about what might be happening with mobility in the future. And we really felt that there would be, over time, a transition of personal lines insurance approaches to mobility to more of a commercial lines approach. And so we believed that diversification outside of just simply being a personal lines carrier would be a smart move for us for the long term. Now, we are reciprocal, as that's the way that we're organized. And so we really think for the long term. We've been around for over 100 years. We're planning for the next 50 years when we think about transformations in mobility. So when we talk about that today, we're not talking about transformations that might happen tomorrow, but we're really trying to set ourselves up for what will happen in the next decade and even 25 years.
Oh, it's really interesting. So how are things going so far? You said that 2019 is when the idea sort of started to happen. Here we are in 2021, just almost getting our way through a COVID pandemic. How are things going so far?
We've had a remarkable year and a half worth of progress since the time that kind of reset that compass and that direction. We've gone from having no Mobilitas insurance company to operate in, just the idea, to today where we have Mobilitas Surplus Lines, which is authorized in all but 3 states. And we have filed for and received approval for our admitted Mobilitas company in all but about 4 states. Also, since then, we started our first commercial foray. Last year, you might have seen the announcement that we were awarded 11 states with Lyft for their commercial risk transfer. And now in those 11 states, every ride that takes place on the Lyft platform is insured by Mobilitas. So we've got a chip in the game.
It's an amazing story. Congratulations on the success so far. I'm interested in how, what's your approach to motivating people to innovating quickly. And, I think that lots of companies that I talk to, yours included, have existed for decades, if not 100 years. Yet you're able to think about something, and get it to the instantiated, out there, real, doing business with companies like Lyft really, really quickly. How do you think about doing that?
When we did that strategic review back in 2019, one of the things we did is refresh our core beliefs. And one that we added was one that we call thinking big and moving fast. And this has really become a cornerstone for the Mobilitas commercial effort. We keep reminding ourselves that the most advanced companies and technologically savvy companies are thinking big and they're moving exponentially faster than we move. And so the pressure is on us to really kind of live up to that kind of expectation.
How do you think about balancing the needs of let's say it's the traditional part of your business, that needs to operate with also thinking big, moving fast with what's new? Certainly at Guidewire, we're not immune to trying to figure out what's the right balance between those two things. It's one of the things that's on my mind almost every day. I'd be interested in your perspective from running an insurance company. How do you think about balancing those things?
We need to live into the promise that we've made when we accepted someone's money in payment for insurance, not knowing when the claim would occur, but to be ready to go into action immediately when that time comes. But here's the thing, if we focus on those customers, that focus has to take us to looking forward, because we don't want to just be their insurance company today. We want to prepare for how their world is going to change and have insurance products ready for them when that change occurs, when they need them. And so if we're really doing our job and serving our current customers, we are focusing on thinking about tomorrow and next year and 10 years from now. And so that again kind of brings us full circle to thinking about the change in mobility is what we're focusing on. Today, mobility is really sort of a personal experience and insured with personal lines products. Tomorrow, we think that's going to start to transition into the commercial sphere. And so by focusing on tomorrow, we are in fact going to prepare for the opportunity to serve the customers that we have today.
Yeah, it's inspiring. It's one of the things we try to think about at Guidewire is how are we constantly challenging ourselves to think about what's next, challenge the assumptions we've made in the past, and how do we prepare ourselves to support our customers going forward. Right. I think it's amazing that we've managed to talk for this long without even saying the word technology. Obviously, we act as a technology partner for you. How do you think about that relationship of the technical underpinnings of a lot of the innovation that you're driving, and how do you think about managing that at your level of the company?
There's literally no product that we sell today that can be sold without the technologies that we use. And increasingly, that's the case. We're trying to embed our user experience in someone else's technology. So we're getting even more wed to this intersection between a traditional insurance product and how it operates and new and modern technologies that are designed to make that experience better for customers or to make the claims experience work better. So we really are trying to focus on embracing technological change and, more importantly, trying to step into this idea that we could influence the technological change as long as we become conversant enough and modernize our thinking about how to use technology. Now, that's the break, right? Because if we hang on to the past, we're stuck with this idea that this is how we do insurance. And we need to keep kind of kicking ourselves to break away from the past and think about how insurance might be done in the future, using to its full advantage current and future technologies. So it's back to culture, embracing technology and using it to its full advantage for the benefit of the customer. That's the part of our culture, and it's part of the culture that we want to promote in the future.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal point you're making, and I think it's making me think about, even at Guidewire, if you end up so focused on what you have been doing and not forcing yourself to think about what's next and not purposely allocating a little bit of your effort, and maybe in your case a lot of your effort about what you're going to do next, you'll really miss out, I think, on that future. So it's a really insightful approach, I think. So what's next for you and Mobilitas?
Well, Mobilitas had a great year writing our first client, Lyft, last year. It happens that this month we're launching our second big product, what we call M-Fleet. This is designed for last mile delivery. We know during the pandemic that having things delivered to our homes became increasingly important. So we've seen a bit of an explosion, if you will, of last mile delivery of all sorts of goods and services. We think that there are important insurance needs in that space, and so we're leaning in with our new product, M-Fleet, currently available today in 14 states. By the end of the year, we'll have it available in every state in the U.S.
It's incredible how quickly you're going, and congratulations. I mean, it was probably pretty, in hindsight, it's insightful, but you timed this, I think, really, really well. So can you tell me a little bit about how that product was conceptualized? And this occurred sort of in the middle of this pandemic, and did that have a relationship to you sort of realizing there's a business opportunity here?
Yeah, absolutely. So even before the pandemic, I mentioned that strategic review, we had a vision that as mobility continued to transform, that we would see more delivery services. And so we felt that eventually a last mile delivery product of some kind, perhaps one that was sensitive to driver behavior and location and traffic conditions, so on and so forth, would be useful. Now, along comes a once-in-a-century pandemic, and the consumers in the world started to use last mile delivery even more. Even more Amazon packages were delivered, and FedEx and DHL and everyone who delivers packages was, on their toes and doing a lot of additional work during the pandemic. And so that sort of punctuated for us that maybe we were on the right track, that last mile delivery's day had come, and that new products would be important to the future of that space. So we set out to develop that kind of a product. Now, phase one for us is to take a more standard approach to how those kinds of exposures are priced. But once we start writing those exposures, then we're going to be studying in real time what kinds of additional benefits we might bring to the pricing exercise, to the safety exercise, and the way that we can partner with the actual company who's doing the deliveries. And at the end of the day, if we focus on the customer, we're going to be talking about how we can make their fleet safer in terms of their operation and how they can lower an important operating cost, which is the cost of their insurance.
That's really interesting. So getting back to this idea of go fast, right? Get the product instantiated quickly, listen and get the feedback and adjust and adjust and adjust. Is that how you think about it?
Absolutely. And that's kind of uncomfortable for the insurance industry, right? Again, we have a legacy of well thought out products, and we launch them, and we don't try to change them in real time very often. Yet if you look at people in the software space, such as yourself, it's a lot more common to launch a version, a minimum viable product, if you will, and really start to iterate on it even on a daily basis. That traditionally has not been the way that we think about our business. And of course, we have products that are regulated and filed, so I doubt that we're going to be changing our products on a daily basis. But if we study our products with that kind of rigor and that repetitiveness, we think we're going to start to learn how to think and function that way. And we probably will end up with more frequent positive product changes, all within the context, of course, of working within our regulatory constraints.
You know, no matter what the constraints are, you have to give yourself the space to think about that vision,
Exactly.
define it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on all the success. I want to thank you again on behalf of everybody watching. It's been a real pleasure talking to you today, so thank you.
Thanks, Mike. It's been a pleasure to be here, and congrats to you and the Guidewire organization for all your success as well.